Her feet feels a bit sticky. Hi everyone, welcome back. Today I have these 3 very cool looking ladies by the artist NECO. These 3 figures are based off the illustration from the A.D.S series, which features a variety of girls in tactical warfare outfits. These 3 designs are one of my favorite ones, so let's open them. I picked these 3 figures from some sellers on Taobao, and their prices ranged between 100 USD to 300 USD. These girls were originally only 698 renminbi, which is about 96 USD. But B and S, which you see spinning over here, were released in 2020 and had gone up in price in the aftermarket. So unfortunately, I overpaid for them. Also, since I was testing different sellers on Taobao at that time, the shipping price greatly varied. I was quite annoyed when B came in an oversized box. Like, look at that, what a waste of space. I ordered these 3 girls around 2022, and thankfully at that time, D was just released, so she wasn't overpriced. For the boxes, all the 3 girls come in this transparent plastic box, just like outer style. The boxes are very simple, with light grey lines along the edges at the sides. There is also an emblem with the character's name on it, on the back of the box, as well as the top of the box. Lastly, there is information about the figure at the bottom of the box. Moving on, opening up the 3 figures, starting with S, inside there is a little note from Myethos, which is the same for all 3 figures. S also has this set of instructions in a booklet format in Chinese, English, and Japanese. Lastly is the blister package for the figure and accessories. Next, to open D up, and taking out the blister package, inside there is also a set of instructions in 3 languages. It's so long and daunting. The last box is B, and open this up and taking out the blister package, here is the set of instructions in the same booklet format. Next is the components for the figures, and D comes in 2 blister packages. Inside the bigger package, I have the figure of D herself. As for the smaller one, I first have D's weapon with a hand part. Next is another weapon component with the blade, followed by the weapon handles where one has a hand part. Lastly is the round rocky looking base. And that's all the components this figure has. Moving on to the next figure. For S, she also comes with 2 blister packages. Inside the smaller package, I first have this round rocky base. Secondly, I have this bulky weapon holster, or whatever this bag is called. As for the bigger blister package, I have another sword weapon with the hand part, followed by the figure of S herself. And that's all the components that comes with S. On to the last figure next. B also has 2 blister packages. Inside the smaller blister package, I first have this same round rocky base, which looks exactly like the other 2 bases. As for the bigger blister package, I first have this sword weapon with a hand part, followed by another gun weapon with another hand part as well. Lastly is the figure of B herself. And that's all the components I have for this figure. Now, to assemble this trio of ladies. Okay, so now for assembly. Although these are fairly simple looking figures, the intricate parts on their weapons are starting to scare me, and let's cross fingers to not break anything. Starting off with the base. All the base have the same design, circular in shape with this rocky-like texture. I kind of wish they didn't use circle and maybe did a more geometrical shape which can fit together. But given how many different variations there are from this series, I suppose they understand that not everyone would be buying everything. Like myself, I'm only interested in these 3 figures. So I guess they can't really decide on what kind of pattern to use, so simplest to do is just this circular base. Okay, let me put this back so I don't mess up whose base belongs to who. Okay, I'll start off with D, which is dragon, or dragoon rather. There's a name on the base, which you can see. So in case you ever get mixed up for the base, well, the name of the character is indicated on it. Taking her out from the packaging, let me just put her onto her base. She has 4 plastic packs and This corresponds to the 4 holes which she has on her base. So you can just slot that in. Fortunately, mine fits perfectly in, although you can still see a little bit of the peg sticking out. Okay, you can force it in. So you shouldn't be seeing the peg on the base, and it should fit snugly into the holes. I think that's perfect. There's a lot of plastic protection, so let's take that all out. I'm always amazed by how they actually put the plastic on. Like, it's so easy for me to take out, but I'm pretty sure putting all this plastic on is not that easy. As for the weapons, well, I'm a noob, so I'm gonna refer to this. Okay, apparently there's 2 forms to this figure. One is where she's carrying 2 weapons, and the other form is where she's carrying 1 weapon. And I think this spear is formed by combining the 2 different weapons together. I'm not gonna do that. Anyway, she looks cooler with 2 weapons, so let's just put her with 2 weapons. Okay, not gonna lie, but this is really hard to put in. It's like you can't see where the hole is, but only from this angle, and you've got to sort of like guess whether you have actually put the peg in or not, and that really sucks. I managed to get it in to this extent, but I don't know if that's right or not. Well, at least her sleeve covers the peg, so you can't really tell whether or not it's properly in. And with this put on, you supposedly can adjust this weapon, and I think that's a really cool function. Yeah, this is how it sort of looks like in the promo pictures. For her next hand, you've got to swap out the hand, and I am not looking forward to that. For this hand, apparently this weapon part slots into the hole over here. Okay, this is gonna be a hard part, so it might take a while. Oh wait, this one's not too bad. It just slides in. Now, to put this guy on. So to slot this in, there's a little peg in the middle of this intricate design, and it goes into the hole which is on this handle, which she's already holding on her other hand. I don't know why, but there's a spare piece, so in case it breaks, I guess. Yep, that went in quite easily. So the only difficult part was this hand. Real horrible to put on. With that, I have D, Dragoon, fully assembled. Let's move on to the other girls. So next I'll assemble S, taking her out from the box. Also a lot of plastic protection, but I'm gonna put her on her base first. So there's 2 pieces on her legs. So her pegs are actually her heels, and the base has small little holes which the heels go into. That's pretty neat. Let's try to slot her in. Like, you've got to open up her legs a little bit in order to push it in. I think this is the best which I can do. Okay, as for the rest of the plastic, there's one for her hair, so let's get that out. Essentially, she's carrying 2 things. One is this fancy bag, and the other one is her other hand, which is holding this round-looking sword. And this goes into her other hand, or rather her sleeve over here. Let's try to slot this in first. Apparently the peg has a particular shape, so you've got to slot it into the hole in the correct direction. This is the best which I can do. Well, at least you don't see the peg anymore. Okay, now the next part is the bad looking weapon. It goes something like this, where her hand is actually gripping onto this part of the bag. So let's try to slot it in. There's also a hole on the base where the weapon slots into. Okay, all in all, it's not very stable because the weapon just keeps popping out from the hole. And I think you've gotta like try to move the weight of the weapon up a little bit so that more weight falls down this direction. Anyway, that's all the assembly for S. So let's move on to the next one. Okay, last but not least, we have B, which stands for blade, as indicated on her base. Okay, removing her out from the box. Not much plastic because her hair is short. That's lovely. And removing the plastic off her legs, which feels a bit stuck since these figures have been stored for a really long time. And there's a little foam at the back over here, so let's take that out. There are 4 pegs on her legs, and this goes into the holes on the base. Yep. This type of pegs seem to fit a lot more snugly and feels a lot more stable. Okay, manual. I'm gonna need this. Okay, she has 2 weapons. One is this fancy looking gun, and the other is this sword. The sword should be on this side, and the fancy looking gun should be on this side. Her feet feels a bit sticky. It's been stored for so long that she became sticky. I hope my other figures are safe. Okay, just wiping down the figure didn't work, so I had to give S a gentle dishwasher soap bath. Only her skin areas were sticky, so thankfully the grey coloured parts are not affected. Sticky painted parts are prone to come off when wiped too hard, so I don't think there's a 100% safe way to fix sticky painted parts on figures, especially complicated scale figures. Please correct me if I'm wrong. For S, I had to wipe off these sticky residues, but I feel like I accidentally wiped off some of the protective coating. Her skin didn't have the matte texture like the other 2 girls after bathing. Sobs. But at least the colour still looks the same. Let me just put on her sword first. Okay, her hand goes in quite easily. And here is the second hand with the peg. So I'm gonna slot this into the sleeve as well. And with that, she is fully assembled. And here are all the 3 girls put together, looking really cool side by side. At 1/7 scale, all 3 girls are about 26 cm high. This is a really nice size to reflect the many military tactical warfare gears they have. The details are beautifully sculpted, and with so much going on, it's just very pleasant to the eyes. Zooming in, starting from the top, in Myethos' typical style, the eyes are very beautiful. They appear to have depth and are also vibrantly painted. Their hair sculpts are also very neat, although the shading is subtle. Here is D up close, and her eyes are in a very pretty green color that matches really well with her beige hair. Even though most of her hair sculpt is covered by her hoodie, I'm satisfied with just the visible strands, especially those at the back of her hoodie. Next is S, and I love her cyan colored eyes more. There is a gradient to the colors creating depth in her eyes, which is just so pretty. Her hair is in a similar color with very neatly sculpted strands. However, I feel there could be more shading to make it less flat. Lastly is B, and her pink eyes are so vibrant and contrast so well with her hair and face. There is also a gradient of pink hues creating depth in her eyes. As for her hair sculpt, I love it the most. Sure, it's short and simple, but I love how it folds into her scarf. However, just like S, I wish it had more shading. Moving down the figures are the main reasons why these tactical warfare girls are so attractive. It's a detail galore. The many buckles, straps, tags, equipment, etc. and etc. It's just so busy and fun to admire. Personally, I feel that D has the most going on. Her outer coat is also very beautifully sculpted. There is a lack in shading, but there are so much fabric folds sculpted. As for the weapon D is holding, there is a metallic tint paint, making it look so realistic. Even the screws are sculpted in this gadget and it's so tiny. Moving on to S, she is adorned in a simpler yet more elegant outfit. Her pleated skirt and the loose chiffon blouse are very neatly sculpted, but sadly lack shading. As for the weapons, first is her very cool and bulky weapon holster, or whatever this is called. It looks so detailed in this metallic paint finish. Next is her slim round sword, and this time the metallic paint is like silver, which suits the elegant style of this figure. Lastly is B, and her outfit has more going on than S, especially her outer baggy jacket. However, just like the previous two, there is a lack in shading, although the very neat and detailed sculpt is spot on. As for her weapon, the paint job is fantastic like the other two girls. Plus, I love the details on this piece of equipment. The rivets and grooves are just amazing. The last aspect of these figures is the base. All three ladies have this round rocky-like base, with a plaque of the names of each figure, so you won't mistake which base belongs to who. I also really love how detailed the base is, but I feel they could be smaller since their footprints only take up a small area. Also, the bases could have been designed to interlock and be joined. Oh wells. As for the level of details of the shoes, D has a simple pair of black shoes. I quite like that the design looks modern, and I love how the sculpted soles are visible from the sides. For S, she has a more elegant pair of heels which are so glossy. The laces are also very neatly sculpted. However, since the pack is literally those teen heels at the back, this figure is not super stable and requires more care when being moved about. Lastly is B, and she has a pair of glossy loafer shoes. She also has socks, and the sculpt is very neat. It lacks shading, but is neat. All in all, I really love how this tactical warfare style looks, and especially S in a uniform, in heels. Like a girl who can fight in heels, like that's just awesome. All in all, I'm really happy to have these three girls in my collection now. Although there are many other variations of this A to Z series, I think I'm just gonna stick to these three. And that's all for today's video. Although these three are kinda old figures, I find that they are timeless and still stunningly beautiful. Although the newer NECO figures have generally dropped in the price in the aftermarket, I still love these three from the A to Z series. Let me know in the comments what you think. If you enjoyed what you saw, please leave a like and subscribe with notifications to stay tuned to more videos. Until then, I'll see you next time. Bye bye!